the demonstration here is using the harmonic minor scale to create a chord quality. I kind of coined this term, the harmonic minor chord. Now, it's not going to be, if you look that up on the internet, it's not going to tell you that. But what I'm doing here is taking a D7 and I'm adding a flat 9. So you get this. And then I'm adding the flat 13. You can call it a sharp 5 too, it's fine. So this is my 5th fret. This is the shell of the dominant chord, by the way. I have to talk about that. The 3-note shell. There's no 5th. Root, 3rd, flat 7. And then I'm adding in the flat 9. That adds a darker quality already. And then on top of that, I'm adding in that flat 13. Again, that could be called a sharp 5. But technically, we're actually going to have a 5 in here like this. See, and that we know that as the diminished 7 chord. And of course, that really brings out, I mean, that's often substituted on the D7 chord. It's just a diminished 7. But I'm actually adding on this flat 13 here for the color. Sharp 5, flat 13, whatever you want to call it is fine. D7, flat 9, flat 13, okay? Or sharp 5. And then here's the scale. And then I'm going to go to G minor 6, 9. And in this case, again, if I wanted to resolve it to G minor, I'm just going to do this kind of a scale fragment, almost like a pentatonic scale. We could do melodic minor. And in this, I'm going to actually resolve it to this chord now. G melodic minor. I'm calling that a G melodic minor chord. It's not funny, it's just scale. G melodic minor is a scale. But I'm kind of just hearing it as a particular chord. I've got the 6th degree here on the G, besides the G bass. I've got the B flat, the flat 3, the 5th, and this major 7. Okay, I'm always trying to hear it in my head. I even try to vocalize it. So that's a beautiful color. And I would play the G melodic minor, face value, just right on the root. So again, you know, you want to have these scales down, and then on this chord, so again, that's a D7 flat 9 with a flat 13 to create that tension. Notice I'm going to the leading tone there, and then G minor 6 with the major 7. I'll write these examples out. I'll create a little worksheet just demonstrating this, because from there you can improvise just with those two scales. The harmonic. This is, and what's interesting about it, it's like a 5 doing 4 bars. 1. So if you're practicing this, G harmonic minor. G melodic minor. Just running down this scale. Melodic minor. So this. Two toggling back and forth, staying on the root note of G is interesting for this. I'm just talking about scales here, trying to get what scale to use with that flavor of the chord to help create it. And that's what I'm kind of talking about again with connecting, or scales, chords, arpeggios. But in this case, the scale really will bring out the flavor of it. We have some different tricks that we could do, like the diminished sub for the arpeggio. And that will help bring out that harmonic minor scale. Very gypsy jazz. And then on this resolve, and that's a minor, G minor major 7 arpeggio. G minor, and I didn't add the 6 in, but we could right here. So we're getting the melodic minor scale. Essentially, they were adding more notes in to where it's going to become a scale fragment, and that's another topic too. And along those lines of a scale fragment is what I call the caravan hack. So again, on that D7 chord, you could be thinking off the D root and going up a half step and doing this hack that I love to do. I call it the caravan hack, and that also is another way to achieve that harmonic minor scale vibe on the D7 chord. The band is playing D7, but you're thinking this. So it's another way to get that same harmonic minor flavor. Then the resolve. That's a melodic minor scale. So the tension is on the D7 or the full scale. You could use these different hacks or diminished 7. And then on the resolve, I chose the melodic minor with that to get that harmony of the major 7 and that 6 and the 9 if you want it really colorful. Otherwise, I could just do minor 7 and do blues. And then the tension. Maybe the hack, etc. So there's different ways to achieve the flavors that you're going after. And when I said minor 7 like this, maybe I want that. Little bluesier vibe for the resolve. So again, that's just practicing 5-1, which of course we always want to practice 5-1 because that's the heart of jazz, gypsy jazz, or what they would call functional harmony. 5 resolves to the 1. So again, all those old standards and especially swing and gypsy jazz tunes will go 5-1. You can reduce the progression down to 5-1. That's what I would also recommend is chord reduction, to where you might see 2-5-1, A minor 7 flat 5, D7, G minor. But instead of the A minor 7 flat 5, you just think D7. This is just for soloing purpose. Of course, I want to play that chord when I'm comping, but I'm just thinking for soloing, I just simplify the thinking a little bit so you don't have to think about too many chords and just get the vibe, the flavor that you're going after. So I'll attach to this post a worksheet that has the minor scales in that case, but I'm also kind of talking about like the caravan hack, the blues hack. By the way, I have these little nicknames. My favorite blues hack is this. That sound. But it's just a blues scale with a Dorian mode. It's just a very particular fingering of it if you want to do that, but you can really mess around and have a lot of fun with that. So I'm going to walk through just those 3 scales I mentioned, starting on the root of G, because I always feel like well, maybe more scales, but I don't want this to turn into just a scale study, but that's kind of essential as I'm saying G harmonic minor. Well, big semi passing by. So here's G. I'm going to start slowly. I like to often go right to that leading tone to get that tension, because it's on the 5 chord. So do 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 do. See do 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 do. Hit the chord, flat 9, add that sharp 5. And even within that scale, there's that diminished 7 arpeggio that we love for especially gypsy jazz. And then on the resolve, G minor 6. I'm going to play 2 scales, the Dorian mode, and that would be a great resolve scale if the band was doing this. Kind of that funky vibe. But again, if you want this flavor, even if the band is doing that, you could add that major 7 in that. So I'm going to run the Dorian, which is just key of F, and those watching this later can slow down the video, the settings. And then melodic minor, so we got to raise that 7. Keep on leaning on that note. Literally, my head will do this. I think that's an Emily Remler thing. She always did that. And here's the chord. On that 5 chord, harmonic minor. Resolve, melodic. In the blues, hope everyone knows the blues. I'm just going to do this. That vibe. If you want that feel, then you're going to do the blues scale. Here's G minor blues. Flat 5. Harmonic. Blues. You know, so you can toggle between these scales as you are hearing those different colors. It's really beautiful, yet very subtle thing. You know what I mean? To use those tensions. And then there's of course other fun scales I was talking about. We could do the melodic minor scale on the dominant chord, but right now this is a very particular strategy that I'm focusing on to create, again, on the dominant 7 you get that flat 9 and the flat 13. So again, I'm going to call that from now on forever the harmonic minor chord at dominant 7. So if you're playing minor swing, Django does that. That's E7. We're on A. Now I'm on A minor, key of A minor for that moment. That's E7, flat 9, sharp 5, and then A minor 6 resolve. So again, you want to practice that little movement. And it can resolve to a major key. By the way, this is really beautiful too. Is going D7, flat 9, sharp 5, flat 13, whatever you want to call it. Run the harmonic minor, da, 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 da. And then I'm going to resolve it to G major 7. And I'm going to go just to the plain old Ionian mode. I'll show you some other options. You may know it like this, though. Whatever fingering you prefer is fine with me. Now I'm going to show you G Lydian. I sharp the 4. So that's how I would resolve it in a major key on the G. I could do the Ionian, Lydian. They're really subtle. Now I'll just attach my scale syllabus. Again, this has it all starting on the root G, the scale syllabus. It's so important to be able to do that. So I still have the harmonic minor chord, and then I'm going to resolve it to Lydian. Etc. So, and then along those lines, maybe I want to resolve it to just a pentatonic, not G minor. That would give me a bluesier vibe, which I could, but you know I demonstrated that early in the minor. But I'm going to go to G major penta, and that gives me a 6/9 flavor. See what I'm talking about? Just connecting the. So, little bluesy vibe, kind of a Benson-y vibe that adds the blue note and stuff like that too. And then there's another hack. There's a hack like the caravan hack, but this is a pentatonic hack. You go down a half step. This is a Pat Metheny vibe. You go down a half step from your root. So in this case, we're on G major 7. The band's playing G major 7, but you go down and start on F sharp, the 7, and you play minor penta. You might want to, and that gives you this Lydian flavor. So another cool little hack you can do. There's a lot, and there's arpeggios and stuff, but I'm kind of focusing more on scales besides just a 4-note arpeggio. So that is a good demonstration there of still taking that harmonic minor chord, resolving to a major, or maybe minor, and then you play melodic minor. So it's a good idea to get your ear hearing those particular colors. All right, so here is what I call Guitar Essentials Master Scale Syllabus. There's even an accompanying video of me here playing through these on my Strat here. But what's important is that, you know, I would say that you can go through these important modes and scales. I start off with all 7 modes on the root of G. So just as we were discussing, G Dorian is in the key of F. It's a 2. So yeah, you're in the key of F major, but the feel and the sound that I was demonstrating on a second ago was this. The blues. And then when we hit the 5 chord, that was where I did the harmonic minor on this D7 flat 9, sharp 5 for flat 13, harmonic minor, the harmonic minor, which could be the scale, arpeggio, and then Dorian. Harmonic minor. There's that hack. I went. So again, I love those hacks that can help achieve the vibe, and that's what I call the Dorian blues, the hybrid. So anyways, this is a scale syllabus. This will be attached. The sound slice practice link will be attached to this video lesson that I'll go ahead and post on Patreon. This is so good. Again, you know, just down here, harmonic minor scale for practice, to be able to kind of take notes and make sure that you know all the formulas and fingerings. You know, this is just all one fingering, and it's my fingering. But as I mentioned, find the fingerings that work best for you. If you have to modify it. Remember, I also like to add the leading tone on here. I didn't do that for this demonstration. But when this is the topic is when we're how to use the harmonic minor scale. It's actually most commonly used in jazz on the 5 chord, not on the 1 chord. So even it says G harmonic minor, you're not going to use it on G minor. You're going to use it on D7, not on the 5 chord. And that gives you, again, that flat 9, flat 13. You could use it on a C minor too. That's the 4 chord of the G harmonic minor scale. You could use it on A half diminished, which is just like C minor 6, same chord. 5, 1, melodic minor. So this video and the sound slice practice video is going to be great practice for those learning the scales, all off of the root note of G in this case. We want to be able to do that everywhere. You can speed it up, slow down. G melodic minor. See what I mean? I'm giving myself
G whole tone.
Whole tone.
G half whole diminish.
So again, now we're going beyond what this lesson, the scope is, talking about more harmonic minor scale. But of course, other scales that we can achieve these flavors, flat 5, sharp 5 is the whole tone scale. So that gives me a particular flavor. Just, again, we can do, I don't want to leave the melodic minor scale because we could do the melodic minor scale superimposed over G7 or D7. Again, there's so many cool ways to use these scales, and I'm talking about application. Really, the word I like to use the most, especially on Patreon, is the word strategies. Okay, but Again, the mastery of the harmonic minor scale there is uber important. Chromatic scale, and that's it. I go through all these scales. So again, this will be attached to that. This is a great essential study, highly recommended. Mastering scales, and then at least at the beginning, and then applying it to your favorite chord progressions. Can't go wrong with just lots of 5/1 vamps. So one thing I just said is that on the harmonic minor scale, here's a harmonic minor chord, but and I suggest that you dive deep into learning the chords of the harmonic minor scale. Learn the chords of the melodic minor scale, the harmonized scale. Okay, I have worksheets that show that, and video lessons that go through that. They're about an hour long each, so I would recommend that you go through that. And the diminished scale, I created lessons for everything, even some exotic scales too. So please go through that for anybody who's interested in knowing all those chords. This video is just kind of a more common practice. So if we're in G harmonic minor, the 4 chord is C minor 7, and that could be C minor 6 as well. And there's the G harmonic minor. Still sounds so good over that. So you can kind of make that a strategy for soloing. If I have my loop pedal, I could just vamp on C minor 7, add the 6 on, and I'm not thinking C minor for soloing, I'm thinking G harmonic minor. That gives you really exotic flavor. But you have to imagine this. But really, that's kind of that would be acting as a prep chord going to the 5. And there's your 5. And there's your harmonic minor to create the tension, and then the resolve. G minor 6. So there's sometimes I will use the harmonic minor scale on the root face value, like G harmonic minor, and that is often when you have this cliche, like right there, that chord, minor major 7, and I have the 9 on as well. Sometimes I like that harmonic minor. Dorian, harmonic minor, and I have a video lesson on scale strategies over the minor cliche that talks about that. Just look up Blue Skies, look up It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing. I even think I talk about that in Nature Boy and My Funny Valentine. Those are the main songs I'm talking about scale strategies. Look up my Hotel California lesson as well. I'm just kind of naming some things for you and those other folks who want to kind of dive deeper into minor scale choices. But that chord right there is such a beautiful chord. I'm going to put G in the bass. That's a minor major 7 chord with the 9. There's no 6th degree on. Okay, there's no 6. So we could use melodic minor, which has a natural 6, or we could use harmonic minor off the root, which has a flat 6. It's a little bit darker. So it really depends on your flavor. And then it goes to minor 7 usually. And then I'm going to do Dorian. And then minor 6. Now I'm just talking about what scales do you use over this. Over that cliche. The chromatic cliche. So again, check out my lessons if you're interested in that. That's on Patreon, and there's some on YouTube on that chromatic minor descending cliche. And that's it for this lesson.